Welcome back to Honoring Black History. In our first segment, we introduced you to Coach Tremaine Jackson, CMU's first African-American head football coach, and some of the work he's done here in Grand Junction and with the police department. But that's not where his efforts stop. I had the chance to speak with him about the culture on campus, and in particular, one university facility honoring a man with a checkered past. One thing to know about Coach Jackson is he does not shy away from awkward conversations. In fact, he embraces them, saying being comfortable in uncomfortable talks is the only way to make sure everyone is heard and ultimately what leads to change. When it comes to conversations about race in the Valley...
Yeah, they've been uncomfortable. They've been really uncomfortable, but they've been welcomed. You know, a lot of people say that they want to be an ally. We don't need allies. We need people that want to change the issue and change the narrative of how things have been going. So we need people that are going to listen. But we need white people to go out with us, shoulder to shoulder, and help us get this changed.
No doubt plenty of work to do. One of the biggest changes made on campus this year is the renaming of Walker Field, the university's premier soccer complex that also hosts high school games, a staple at the corner of 12th and Orchard for more than a decade. Now, the man for whom the field was named, Walter Walker, an accomplished politician, a U.S. senator, founder of the Daily Sentinel, and instrumental in the development of Grand Junction, he also played a major role in bringing the Ku Klux Klan to Grand Junction in the mid-1920s.
It's disappointing because it felt like we were honoring something or someone that caused so much pain to people that look like me especially. We normally don't do that. We don't name things after people that don't do great things. And so either we were honoring something that we at one point thought was great from what he did, or we just were ignorant to the fact of what really happened, and we need to realize that that wasn't a great thing to happen at that time. Again, that was uncomfortable. I was on that committee that had that conversation, and we spoke with everybody. And at the end of the day, we cannot honor something or someone that has a great part in our dark past.
A small change that Coach Jackson says is not so small.
That was big. That was big. When you start taking people's names off of things because of what they did before, that's not a fun conversation to have.
When it comes to changes, race relations, and how to deal with important figures with checkered pasts, it rarely is. And it has to be said, there were opponents to the name change, pointing to Walker's public about face on the KKK and focus on his contributions. But for Coach Jackson and a committee set up by the university known as Turning the Corner, the points were ultimately moot.
That's not to say that that person wasn't sorry ultimately for whatever they did or whatever pain and harm they caused, but we just can't honor that right now.
Again, it all comes back to those important, uncomfortable conversations Coach Jackson has had right here in the Valley.
And we talk a lot about checking your own people in our program and then checking your heart. We need that to happen. And so those conversations, although they have been uncomfortable, although they have been disagreed with in some areas, they've been really good because they've been welcomed. Because of the platform that I have, they've been even more welcomed, and we've been able to really get into some deeper levels of conversation, and I think we've changed some hearts along the way.
It certainly is a beautiful thing. Coming up, more from Coach.
Not just for black people, but for white people, for other races. Black History Month is not for black people. We've been getting this lesson our whole life.
Find out what Black History Month means to the man making history himself. That and more is coming up on Honoring Black History.